Theme song.
Welcome back to Foundation, and what you're watching here is a little attempt at exploring sort of the design of the castle structure that I want to do going forward, like around the town. But also, this was an attempt that I had to create a way down to the, down the cliffs, so that we could bridge the gap across the river here, and this is how it's gonna look. However, I've realized something. Maybe it's been updated recently, I don't know, but basically the bridge, as you can see here, doesn't, see that, it still says invalid position, so I actually can't get the bridge to be in a position here that actually becomes usable. So this whole dream of having people come down here and cross through, go over the bridge, and then access all of this lush land is just not going to work. So what I need to do is scrap this, or at least see if it was going to work. Can I build? Yeah, I can't build it. I just, wish I could force build it, and then I know they walk over this stuff, but I think the next, where is the best? There. It's not invalid there, but that bridge looks ridiculous. We already have a bridge doing that over there, which we're going to turn into a stone bridge eventually. But I was hoping to get a stopgap so that I could have, something happen over, I could get rid of this bridge while they could still cross over. But anyway, we're going to have to deal with that later. For now, A, I want to see if this works, and B, we might as well make use of it rather than delete it all. How much is it costing me, though? 17 coins. So, there it is. 17 coins is not terrible. As you can see, our economy is doing okay. I've upped our sell amounts here for stone, polished stone rather, and tools. So we won't be selling a lot of those unless we're over 200 polished stone and 150 tools. And that was mainly just so that we have some stock ready to do some building with. But basically, because of our last episode's efforts, all this stuff here, our beautiful fishing hut, our economy is roaring. It's doing pretty good. I really like this straight road here. I'm going to have to decorate that. And I think I've got... Yeah, see, I want residences to come in and start using that. They've stopped using this path, obviously, whatever. Not concerned about that. What I really want them to be building houses in here, though. And I suppose that'll come as I continue to invite people in and we start to fill out this area, which is something that we should do today. So welcome back to Foundation. And how do I make this useful? Well, let's go ahead and see if I can't do a fishing hut right here. So this is the extremely elite and private access. Here we go. It's gonna work. There we go. The private access that this guy has to his fishing area. Now, just to make sure, forbidden. I want to forbid. Yeah, I don't want you to come down here. I don't think they can anyway. But I'm just gonna do this. Just in case. And I want to see if that is buildable. Let's speed up time here and see if that's buildable. Come on, use this. Oh, the only way I know this works, and I've seen it work on other people's saves, is you need to do a free build here. Monument, either castle or administrative or whatever. But it has to be free build. It can't be a building with a particular purpose. We'll see if that's true. Oh, villager path blocked. Dellinger could not reach this fisher's hut. No, so this never worked. So it's a cool look, but it doesn't work. Maybe what I could do is delete this lower area, or we could just let it be RP. But I bet I could delete this chunk here, and just kind of make it an outcropping, like a scouting spot or something. But that was good. You know what? I'm glad I didn't spend the whole episode testing it. I'm glad that I'm glad that I at least built it offline first. But it also gives me an idea of what I want to do. So I really like the stone, obviously, and the darker sort of, I think that's black tile. So that's what we're going to go with today. And I think that we should probably think about a couple of things. Thing number one, what is the design of this place, right? What do we want from this place? Thing number two, how do we get more people and more industry in here and feed them all, because it's not a lot of bread. So I think what we need to do is kind of push things this way. We need to start we need to build a village in this clearing, which I think I said in the last episode. And then, yes, I do want a castle here. Do I have to take one more land? I mean, that's not that bad. That being said, it is kind of small, and I was looking at my castle options and kind of thinking, there's got to be something here. And so I think there ought to be some sort of a castle here, and then perhaps we put a castle over there as well. So maybe it's just like multiple castles. But the one I want to work on today is this one right here, I think. Fortification, administration. Here we go. Castle keep. So we don't even have a castle keep yet. So I kind of want to like get to designing something that could be keep. So these are the keeps here. So we can do the modest. Is this modest? Rustic fortified? What are my options? There's different design options here up top. That's still pretty rustic and fortified, I think. And I don't want to go I don't want to go... And I don't want to go rustic. I want to go, like, pretty fancy. Modest. So wait, it's rustic? Rustic fortified. And then modest. Where's ultra fancy? Or is that just what they're called? Let's see. Do I have different designs on this one? Because I know I'm using this one in the live stream of Foundation, but I do... It's just one of my favorite ones. It's so pretty. So I think that's the vibe, though. I think we're going to just have to go with the fanciest option. Unless there's, like, some unlocks I'm missing here. Let's go over here. Progress. Kingdom. The Court of Heroes. Okay, so here's the thing, though, right? The Court of Heroes could be... Ooh, we've unlocked all this. Polearm, private quarters. I'm going to use that. Yes, yes. Healing house. Oh, castle. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, I've run out of stuff to spend. Okay, we'll wait until we get that. Mess hall and healing house. Those will all be good. Steel sword, recurve bow. I think these are upgrades to our industry, so we'll worry about that later. Command post. Yeah, I want to start running missions. I want to start running... and so, like, I kind of need all this territory to have a nice big castle. And then over here, we could do the Court of Heroes or something and make something, like, fancier. So over here, rather than fancy, we should go for structural. Maybe a little bit of this, like, keep this vibe going. So let's think about that. Okay, let's start to build our keep. Or wait, hang on. What have I just unlocked? Oh, for heaven's sake. There needs to be is there a backup button to go back to the menu? Because watch, I click on private quarters. Now how do I go back? Right? Okay, private quarters. What do you have for me? You have all of these buildings, or I can use these ones. Capacity minimum 2. Okay, yeah. Modest fortified hall. So we'll use a bunch of those. Okay, so what we need to do is a whole bunch of sub-buildings. Where's my entrance going to be? Well, it's going to be right here, I think. And so this castle, what we're going to do is it's going to go... let's use patrol. The castle, so the bridge will probably be like here to here. We have to build it right next to the wooden bridge and then take it down, just like they do in my hometown, Vancouver. I think they're doing that. I think they're building a bridge, and then they're right next to an old one. So what is a stately looking area? We might need to remove these people from their house, because I feel like it's almost got to be something like that. Just sort of drawing it out. I think we got to kick these people out of... Oh, I like a triangle house, though. I feel bad. But it feels like... Oh, what we could do, though, is have the entrance be like this. Here. So, yeah, we got to kick these people out for sure. Okay, that's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to have the entrance like that. Wait, show me the thing. We're going to have the entrance right there. So, castle keep, barracks, armory... I think it's going to have to be a free build. Private quarters. We could call it barracks. Okay, let's go free build for the entrance. That's what we're going to do. Free build for the entrance, just so they kind of know what we're doing. And then we're going to... Yeah, we'll kick these guys out. Don't worry. Modest fortified gate. Let's go modest fortified gateway. On an angle. On set angle. Kind of like along down here, so about to there. Looks good so far. Okay, I'm going to turn off the painting here for a second so I can kind of see a little better. Okay, so that's kind of the placement. And I feel like that gives us a lot of land on the interior here, where we can build out sort of the encampments and stuff like this. Here we have occupants 0. So this barracks will be filled with occupants once we have created the actual, companies, of which we have not done. So, like, all these barracks are not useful because we have we haven't been creating soldiers. So we need to do that today. Okay. And like we've said, we're going to go black with it. Yeah, I think that's going to be the design here. And let's go a little taller, perhaps, to get that little window. That's very nice. Okay, now, how do we go from there? Stone towers. Okay, also P.S. What a great piece of detail. The actual stairs to get up onto the rooftop. A lot of video games is just a sealed-off tower and like a hatch. You know, just a little animation. Or just like a look. I like this game. The detail is nice. So what do we want to do here? We need to explore how to, like, have it kind of round out. That's not quite the vibe. But I think we could just use modest stone or a nice thick one. Let's use a thick boy. Thick wall. And then we'll tower it off. So what we need to do is basically build this for a little bit and then switch to barracks, switch to quarters, and make sure that this design is functional as well. So turn off snapping so I can start to get an angle, but make sure it doesn't clip into the actual ability for, you know, I don't want to wreck the vibes, the look, obviously. Okay, so let's grab this guy here. Same thing. Turn it a little bit. Is it clipping in? Yes, it is a little bit, so we'll just move it kind of forward, I think works. Bring it up to a similar matching height. Voila! Already we love it. Now let's go one more, I think. Turn snappage back on, just so we can kind of line it up nicely. Then we add a tower to it. This one might need to curve just a bit more. Dude, this is going to look awesome. This is going to look great. We're going to add a lot of detail work as well. Might be a whole castle building episode, which is... I mean, I feel good about that. There we are. Yeah, I feel like this castle might be gorgeous. This might be a beautiful design here. I kind of want these to be a little more symmetrical, but we'll worry about that with the addition of our towers. So, tower options. Let's go take a look here. I think it's just... big ol' square boy or round girl. Are the towers boys and girls? The square ones? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy if you're trying to figure out that kind of stuff. Okay. Turn snapping back on. Just make sure it kind of snaps nice. I like the moss. That's quite nice. Put that a little higher. So we need to get... yeah, I need to straighten off here. So I think this needs to be on even more rakish of an angle. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Relax. Turn snapping off ever so slightly to nudge. I see that there's different designs here on this. So no, no, no. There we go. Okay, so we've looked at all the options for design and we're doing this. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is step one. That's going to be free build. We're just going to leave that there. We're going to come back and obviously do some design work, of course. I think we go square with it. I think that's the vibe here. I do like the rounded, but maybe it goes round on the outsides because that's more defensive or something. And then I think we keep it this height so that it's a bit more of a functional space. I think this one will be a bit more... you know, see how like these are really tall? I kind of want to redesign these maybe. But something like this is quite nice, but we redesigned it, right? So it's a little more... like, so we've got that height, and it's got a bit of a Dr. Seussian vibe, but also maybe a bit more Castlevania. That being said, this one is just going to be more sturdy and structural, I think. That's going to be the vibe here, I think. For here. Now, we might need to move some of this stuff, or just ever so slightly keep tweaking that angle. Okay, that's feeling like it's going to work. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so if we keep tweaking this angle, we might be able to miss that entirely. Modest stone fortified wall. Okay, here we go. It's wild that you just have to keep using like single pieces at a time and that there isn't a wall painter. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is, but I don't know, whatever. You'll get no major complaints out of me about that. It's just a little weird that it's like these little chunks are what we're placing, but it's okay. Honestly, it does let you do these curves really nicely, so maybe I like it. I don't know. Maybe I've changed my mind, and I love it. Okay, there we go. So that angle has... oh, what's going on here? Could not reach the public lounge. Guillian could not reach the public lounge. No more room available at the lodging. Oh, that's cool. That's good. Uh-oh. Why can't we... no, he should be able to. There's an entrance there. Should I just slap an entrance on the public lounge somewhere else? I feel like the public... I don't know. There's people getting into it. I'm not worried about that. Let's leave that. Okay, I fast-forwarded through that bit a little bit just kind of... You know, we have a lot of work to do today. You didn't want to see me place all those walls. And so far, it's looking okay. There's a little bit of a kink here, which I wonder if it's because it's connected to the wrong wall. So I'm going to connect it up to its buddies here. Okay, I'm going to delete this one and try that again because I want it to be on the same level. Oop, come here. Okay, is that the same level? I don't know. That looks a little better, but it's still kind of clipping into the foundation a bit, or the other wall, rather. So, I mean, that's a little better. Yeah, it's still a bit of a bit kinky, if you will. Now, that is a straightaway, right? And that's a little boring, but I think we're going to put some structures in and around that wall. So to do that, let's add a sub-building here. That's free build. So let's add a sub-building, which will be a private room for knights and nobilities. It'd be kind of fun, actually. Let's do that. Let's put a private room in here. Now, what we could do is delete some of the wall. Oh, or we could actually put it on the interior. That looks kind of funky. Can I lower it, though? I can't lower it. What are my different design options? I don't have any. Okay. So if I want to do something like that, I think the wall actually needs to be taller on the free build portion. So that looks a little more... like it makes sense and attaches and comes off that back wall, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, we're gonna go a little higher with the wall. That looks a little more imposing, which, okay, fine, that's the vibe, that's the storytelling. We're gonna go with a pretty imposing wall structure here, which will require some more detail to not look like just like a big wall. Like, we don't want to go Attack on Titan here, but I think that'll look nice with the other buildings around, so that's good. Okay, so then on the inside here, we've got our private quarters. What if I do a modest cloister of some kind? No, let's just do an extension of this and then design it out a bit. This is our private quarters here for our nobilities. There we are. Are there different styles? No, I've already asked that. Asked and answered. Okay, there we go. Now, do we have any Natalies that we can attach to that? I'm sure we do. Almost. Maybe we don't. Modest skylight window. That's it. Just those. No, thank you. Okay, who's that? Where's that horse coming from? Oh, there he is. Okay, go along with yourself. That noise was annoying. I don't see any dormers. Surely there are dormers in this. Don't give me this beautiful roof here without any dormers. The man needs a dormer. No. What's a battress? A brattis. Man, you learn a lot about, or if you don't learn, you at least see, you're exposed to a lot of different castle parts and names and medieval education, I suppose. Okay, well, this is for knights, so let's give them some nice, some chimneys, right? Maybe on either side, so it's a little bit more. That might be more of like a modern, not modern, but like more of like a Norman kind of a structure, having that going like that. But it's kind of nice. I like it. Private quarters has no entrance. The capacity is 4, so that's, it's fine. And then I think a doorway like that is a little bit much. Again, this is the knight's quarters, though, so like maybe that's actually okay. Or do we have something a little more honestly, I kind of prefer that. But we definitely need a bit more detail to break up this space a little bit. So let's go for modest bay window. And then raise them up. I think that's going to look okay. I think that's good. That's a vibe. We don't want to be so symmetrical that we get locked into just constant symmetry, but at the same time, it's like, I don't hate what I'm looking at. Okay, there we are. There we are. And then, yeah, little chimneys on either side, so that's kind of going to be where, like, a knight's entrance. It looks a little too symmetrical for my liking, unfortunately. What are my other options, though? What else can I add? It butts into the stairs too much. Let's hit T, move it back a bit. Oh, I see. It's not quite how this turret works. Yeah, it's not. The turret doesn't want to be what we want it to be. It breaks up the the shape of it a bit nice, though. So what I am going to do is I'm going to slide that over here, maybe. That's kind of funky. Yeah, it's just like a little extra structure around it. What if we actually nestle it? Like that. It's good detail. It's clunky, but in kind of a way that I like. Okay, what about this old kit and caboodle here? Let's turn snapping on. What are you not connecting to? This? You don't want to connect to that. Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah, some buttressing of some kind would be nice. Modest stone buttress. A stone pillar. What does a stone pillar do? Nothing. We could put it underneath overhangs. That would look nice. Oh, gotta have an oubliette though. Maybe not an aged one, but like a yeah. It would make sense to have it on the. Dude, that looks awesome. Okay, there we go. There we go. So that's just a little bit of design there. No, I don't even know what that is. Oh, this was the turd I was gonna. I don't think it's asking to be anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Where like a piece kind of tells you where it wants to be. Like that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for one of these pieces to be like, oh, I belong there. Could get rid of this. Let's move that out of the way for now. I might have to speed through some of this, otherwise it's gonna be a long episode. A long episode that people are like, oh, I'm so over this guy and his design ideas. This is okay. We're getting like a Bespin, like Cloud City with these round things here. I'm gonna put this back. Yeah. Let's just keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's 4 private quarters for 4 nights, and if we need to redesign it, we can. Now, the next big question is what's going to happen here? So this is the internal structure. Obviously, we'll have a big keep at the back, and that'll be our primary keep. Maybe it comes right to there on this straight line here. Do we get rid of this wall? I'm thinking that we do. Castle keep. Let's just go with the one we love. We got to go with the one we love. I know I'm doing it in the stream, but like, you know, if you want to watch the stream, you should still watch the stream. It's still great. And we're still kind of doing a similar design, unfortunately, like kind of up a cliff, if you will. Yeah, that looks awesome there. That's a good placement, I think, as well. We'll get a little height for it. Yeah, I think this is going to be awesome. I think this is well worth it, and I do think we have to, like, basically delete this, let's basically delete this whole castle fortification. Take it down to here. So let's move that to there. Delete this one. Delete. 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 We did it served us well in the initial build. Apply changes. Oh, they got to come build it. All right, that's fine. It served us well, but it does no longer. So for the castle keep, we need training and interior access. Okay, very good. We shall do both. Let's have a bit of a structure forward of the castle. Not a big. You can't have both, I don't think. You have to have one. Looks like our economy is still doing okay. We're out of rustic food, though. But yeah, again, that's, I think, next episode. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be the next episode's problem to deal with, because right now we're doing castle design. This thing is a beast. So we could have a bit of an entrance, like something like this. Or do we have... where am I, like... Make it a bit more of a hall entrance, you know? What do I have here? Pillars... Modest stone, rustic wood buttresses. Do we have any, like, ultra fancy buttri? Is that... We could do the same thing, the same trick we did over here. I wish you could raise those, though. Is that plural for buttress? Buttri? Buttrums? Yeah, I really wanted, like, an ornate, angled one, rather than this straight up and down one. But it does do the job on the... sides of like breaking things up, which is what I think we should do on the outsides of this wall too. I think that's going to make the wall look a little more structural and a little more, you know, maybe impregnable, so to speak. So to bring this forward, we could grab a fortified hall. What kind of design options do we have here? It's that same thing again. I'm kind of stuck with this. This is the look I prefer. I don't know that I prefer the other options. Okay, I can get that lower. So if we go higher on this, let's get those windows out. Then, oh, for heaven's sake, what's happened? Yes, very good. Okay, good. That was a little bit of chaos there for a second. I didn't want what was going on there. Okay, more or less symmetrical within reason. I joke that it's like, oh, well, it's medieval, so it wouldn't have been symmetrical. But it's like, they had nothing else to do all day than just futz with the measurements of their buildings and make sure that it was like perfectly symmetrical. And it's so easy to be like, oh, they were medieval. They were so dumb back then. It's so easy that I just, in fact, as you saw, I just did it. And so we don't want to copy that. We don't want to, like, what's the term for when you keep a misconception going? We don't want to keep that misconception alive. We want to remember that these folks were actually quite smart. That was a big thing when I was in university. They called this the Dark Ages. And our professor was like, if you use the term Dark Ages on your paper, I will take off an entire letter grade. He was a big apologist for the medieval times. He was like, oh, so you're saying that one of the worst times for humans was when we couldn't raise giant standing armies that would threaten entire countries with, like, mass destruction? When it was all feudal and we kind of had to work together in small communities? Was that the worst time for us? What is that? Is that a wall that I haven't gotten rid of? Yeah, I think it is. Edit. Come here, you. Delete. How do I change this? There we go. I think I got it. So we just need to finish that wall. There we go. We need some, like, something to the side to make it look a little nicer. Ooh. Also, we probably need something like this. What does this look like? If I go here. This might be a little too casual. That looks terrible. But it is kind of giving us the sort of the pillory buttress vibe I was asking for. However, is there something else I can do where it's like modest stone pillars? Nah, it's just nothing I can put on top of it. They don't have flat pieces to put on top because it could be nice to create like a pillared entrance structure there. But I think I just might have to iteratively add layers of design on top of it as opposed to try to fix this all in one go. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to build both of these. Okay, fine. So it needs training grounds. We're going to worry about that later. Let's go for a modest hall. That. Same kind of thing here. Turn off snappage. Okay, that's pretty good. That's looking good. Then we're going to put a tower here, and then protruding from that tower is going to be a little bit of a structure like this. But I don't want it to step down so much. I don't think we have to go that low with it. Also, to say nothing of the fact that we're going to need to save up quite a lot of material to build this entire structure. This whole castle is going to cost a lot of materials. Okay, so I've brought the angle forward a little bit just so the wall can connect up nicely and then come over here. Then we're going to create a gatehouse here and then just bring this wall back along there and then kind of finish up our bridge. The bridge at this point is probably going to be here to here. Which is okay, I think. I think that's going to be okay. But like I said, we might need to buy a bit more room here so we can finish this castle. So far we have our keep. We have a private quarters with room for 4 and then free build. So what I think we want to do here is add a barracks, I think. Allows you to create a company. Oh, we kind of need these encampments. So they can create a company that can perform training, patrol duties, or participate in missions. Best suited to unreached status. An armory. Okay, so we do still need some training. I think we just need training props or something to make this keep worthwhile. But that's kind of annoying because these items are sort of... See, it's like there. That's all you need for the keep. I think what we need to do is create a small, like, training area. So, let's create a spear encampment. And when they say encampment, I think they mean tent. But I don't think we need that, right? This can be like an encampment, but it's more of like an administrative wing of our spear company. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go for the central command, if you will, of our spear encampment. Do we want to go something like this, maybe? Do I want to go that way, or do I want to go into the... I kind of like being flat on. Snap to it. Alright, come on. Maybe at a different height. That kind of looks interesting. Double-click to get the entire structure. Move the entire structure over. So what I don't need right now is a tower there. I'm going to want some sort of a wall instead. Ooh. Okay, we're going to go here and here. We're going to grab some chimneys, I think. Unless they're not going to let me. Yes, they are. Oh, I love that. Okay, great. Chimney, chimney. Chimney there. Can I raise these ones up a little bit? No, this is how they are. Do I like that chimney? Not really. There's something like dinky about them. I want chimneys that I can really just get... I want chimneys I can get really dirty with, you know? That looks a little more hearty. I like that. Let's go center with it and see what that looks like. Shift click. 1 and 2. Delete and move this one to the center. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of tinkering with our actual, like, do we like that? Okay. Spear encampment. Let's go. I'd love to see... I need to look into how they see these being used. We could make a little, like... I guess they have thin walls, don't they? So we can make a thin wall. A thin-walled entrance to our little spear encampment here. And then I'm going to do a little trick where the encampment has some training grounds, of course, because it needs some, but then also the keep's training stuff is going to be over here as well, and that kind of just creates a cohesive look, so I don't have to create all these little training grounds. I can just create this. Turn snapping off. I said turn snapping off. Back that in a little bit to shrink it down. Or just move it over like that. That's not bad. That looks kind of cool. Okay. And then over here, yeah, we got to get some, like, detail work. So, like, what kind of windowery do we have? Some sort of a modest stone balcony could probably go nicely here. Snap it, too. Bring it up. Looks like I have designs, too, so that's kind of nice. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you could actually make a whole cloister with these. Oh, that's cool to know. I didn't know you could make... Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Black here. Very good. So that's how they're going to kind of just come and go. Modest stone archway. The interior of our castle is starting to get a little bit more complicated, which I do like. That's why it's so expensive. Because the patterns are so complicated. Okay. Turn you... Oh, I see. You're not going to let me snap and rotate, okay? You're going to be one of those. Okay, we're going to have to do this one step at a time, folks. There we have it. A little bit of a wall structure. That's looking good. And then, okay, that's not a great training ground. I guess we would have needed a larger training ground. But if I bring... Let's go and shift-click some more of this wall. Bring that over... Turn off snappage just to kind of like fill this area in. How much training ground can I sneak out of this little section here? Basically, that's my question. The other thing is that we can kind of role play, right? Is that this is sort of our administrative wing, so maybe the training happens further afield. Maybe the training doesn't necessarily always happen here. They can do small demonstrations or something here, but they don't actually constantly... We don't need a huge training ground here. Maybe we can build one elsewhere on the castle grounds and just assume that they would share that space with the others. Okay, there we go. That's looking good. I mean, it's a tight... Yeah, that's a tight little area, but I like how that looks. And then we got to put some decorations in the middle here. I think that's going to really sell this design. All right, we're going to place some armored straw dummies here for some basic training. 1, 2. Then I'm going to go over here, make sure to click on the keep, and then place the one for the keep. Oh, it's too far. Okay, so we'll put a little training ground here, a little proving ground on this side as well. Perhaps maybe a row here, along here. There, and archer targets. We don't really need archer targets. I'll do some simple straw dummies here. Honestly, yeah, we want a bigger training ground, but this will probably look good enough. Or, sorry, not look good enough. The look is probably the problem, but the actual functionality is probably good enough to train people up. Okay, there we go. All right, now some, like, design and decorative work, I think, is going to have to come after. Like, we got to start looking at how we're going to build this sucker. This thing's expensive. Looking at this from the distance, I think, yeah, it's a lot of just stark stone, but that will set out quite nicely with the rest of the city once it's built in. I mean, we're going to have a market in this place here, more housing, obviously, especially once this dude gets kicked out of his nice house. So sorry, he's getting eminent domained so hard. A little gatehouse here off of the main castle, so you kind of like walk along those castle walls as you come into town from this village over here. We're still going to have, obviously, of course, our primary, either it's going to be a major entrance, or it'll be our sort of court of heroes and maybe some other structures, some kind of... This one I just want it to be kind of very fantasy-like over here. So this one, yeah, being functional like this is looking good. I really like the depth with all these roofs in here. I think that's going to look really nice. So continuing to ring this out like that will probably be worth it. But then, of course, we're still going to need to, like, kind of do up some designs here. So I'm just going to fast forward through the creation of the wall here. And we're going to want to, while we do that, create also a bow encampment and a sword encampment. Probably an armory as well. A barracks could be good in this area. So we kind of want to get... like, this is a very large structure for just a spear encampment. So I kind of think like an archery one would be of a similar size. But then the sword one, I don't know. We just have to kind of make things a little more combined. And then what we could do as well is I wonder if I could switch. Destroy sub-building. Ah, I see. So the only way to actually switch things and create a barracks is if I delete the building and then create it as a barracks item. But maybe we can do that going forward for the spear, the sword, and archery encampment. So let's kind of fast forward through this little build process here. And then, of course, I think we need to place a flag here, and maybe on both sides. A lot of detail work is going to need to go into this. So we've got sort of our sword encampment here, which is very simple. And we messed around with, like, you know, some of our options as far as design, and we just kept it very simple because, first of all, that's the main entrance. So we have to kind of figure out what this is going to look like. Get this little cabin out of there. We need to get, like I said, the bow encampment. We still want that in here. We also want probably a treasury. We want an armory. What does the armory look like, by the way? I think it's a separate building, isn't it? Yeah, it's just this. Okay, that's fine. That's good to know. But I still need to build that, and it should, I think, be in here, even though the swords will be made over there. We could potentially put it over there, I guess. But we need, so we need an armory in here. We need the encampment of the bow folk. Barracks, I think, actually, we could probably do something like this. Let's add a barracks. How about, let's go. Oh, wait, are we not allowed to? Okay, I thought for a second we wouldn't be allowed to add another one. Let's add a barracks and see what, where is that little building? This building, what does this do? 16. It creates capacity for 16 people, so, like, that's pretty awesome. So we just kind of need to find spots where we can, like, stuff these little buildings, and then that's going to house people. So this barracks here, what if it came out from the tower or something? What does that look like? Make it black, bring it up a little bit. You know, yeah, it's not, you know, gorgeous by any means, but it also creates some separation. It creates a little bit of like a, you know, this is where we're housing people. It's a castle. This is a functional military situation here. So we potentially have, oh, is this castle keep? Oh, that's back into the castle keep. No, I need this to be part of the barracks, please. Sorry, sir. Shift click. There we are. So the castle keep, now that's a barracks for 36 people. Which is a very efficient structure. Just, it looks a little sad. But that could create a natural break. Then we have, I think we have enough room for maybe the bow encampment. And what else did we want? The stuff that I haven't unlocked yet. So I really want a healing house and a mess hall. And those feel like they should be fairly hefty buildings, unfortunately. Could I actually, what if I just stuff a barracks into here? No, the problem is the way that the roof operates is not very conducive to a nice little design there. Honestly, that's not terrible. I don't hate that. But now we're going to have to grab this idea, separate it out, double-click so I can actually move the whole structure around, and then see if there's another spot for that, because right now it's sticking together with that wall. And I might join that to create our bow encampment. So is there anywhere I can put this barracks and just get a quick, get a quick 36 people housed in here? We could shove it off the side of this, or even out the side like this, like at an angle. Let's see what that looks like. I mean, the problem with doing that, though, is it's like, it's a little bit of a, why? Because then you're like, what are you doing with this little pinchy area? Okay. It leaves a lot to be desired, this design. But again, like, boom, barracks, 36 people. Like, let's go. Let's figure out a spot for it. I think we could put it here, maybe. Oops. Love the control Z works. I think we can put it right here. Shove it into the wall a little bit. It's interesting. Now, whose house is this? Guntard and Placentius. Placentius! Okay, so this is going to be the Placentius Memorial Barracks, I think. We need some way of kind of memorializing the person that we kicked out to make this possible. Let's add a little bit of detail to it with like perhaps a big old chimney. Oh, that's a honking chimney to be hung up like that. I think we need like those thinner ones. Do we have any thinner ones? There we go. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's ugly, but it's functional, right? We're going for ugly and functional. That's what my wife keeps calling me. Self-burn. Now I'm really sad. Got to get a little oubliette down there. Always find room for an oubliette. That's what I always say. And then perhaps a bay window. We love the bay windows. I love what they add. I love the detail. I feel like there's some new music in the since the last update. We have a barracks capacity of 40. We have a staffed sword encampment and a ready at the helm spear encampment. We've got our keep, which could use a bit more detailing. But I think what we're actually faced with is the end of part 1 of this episode. I'm actually going to remove some of this wall here because we know we're going to build the healing house. We know we're going to build a bow encampment, perhaps some other little structures here, and then some sort of central design as well. But this episode is going to be 6 million years long, and this is going to take 6 million years to build. So that's going to be a big problem. Now, can I click on the entire structure? Because I want to get a sense of how much this whole thing is going to cost me. So we can get our time-lapse going on. So please enjoy the time-lapse for part 1 of our castle build. And once that thing is done, this is going to be the administrative heart of this massive area. We may have to get another church in here. We're going to build this market, which goes right near the entrance of this, so that's nice. Fill this in with housing. And then I think eventually we need to start getting a whole bunch of wheat and maybe cheese and stuff farmed out on this end here and brought across the epic stone bridge that we build. What can you, public lounge, not worried about that. That way we can bring all that in, process it all, sell it to these people, and really fill this area in with housing. That's kind of the next step, I guess, like a little village housing over here. Then we've got our village out here. That's pretty much done. This area is looking more or less like we can use a couple of tweaks, maybe get this marble deposit up and running. So build a little more village out here. Maybe some more. Do we even have any cow farm going? I don't think we do. Okay, we'll got to keep that going. And our hops production, we're like, this area is kind of wrapping up. And then we have sort of our beautiful map. It's looking good. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please enjoy the time lapse as we build one of our major and first largest boondoggles that will surely crash our economy, the massive castle at the helm of this city.